Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of Sam and Max Hit the Books, the show where Sam and Max read some comic books. How you doing, Sam?
Doing well. How are you doing?
I am doing very well. So I'm Max, obviously.
And I am Sam Richards.
Sam Richards. I'm excited. I'm high energy to get into the comics this week. It was an interesting week in a couple of ways. Some good, some bad.
Yeah.
So let's get right into it with the Uncanny X-Men Annual, #1, by Ed Brisson and Carlos Gomez. And this issue apparently is the return of Cyclops. I think that some of the asterisk scenes indicated that he may have shown up in another book somewhere, something to do with this extermination thing, and we still don't know what the hell is up with Kid Cable.
Yeah.
But they literally show him busting out of the grave at the beginning of this one.
I like his current costume.
This costume with the red,
that costume.
The one that he died in, with the red X over the eyes.
Yeah, that's cool.
I will say that Gomez, when he's drawing him in this costume, does a much better job than any other artist did of making it look like Cyclops' eyes were actually anywhere in where the X was crossing on his face. It often looked like there's no way his eyes are in that X. But I'm not a huge fan of that look. I'm really happy with the look that he gets into at the end of the issue. It's not as good as the 90s animated series look, but
yeah, that's a good look too.
I like a blue and yellow Cyclops. The blue and red Cyclops is a little evil for me.
Well, yeah, it does make him seem like the dark Cyclops.
But the best Cyclops costume in the comic is the one we get during the flashback sequence, which honestly, the flashback sequence overall I thought was the most fun part of this issue.
It was great.
Like, it really made you kind of want a series more like that, like a real throwbacky, like, original 5 X-Men series, not something where they're bringing the original 5 to the future and they have to deal with modern problems, like a real flashback, Golden Tales type thing.
Yeah, Golden Tales are nice.
And that costume's lit. That's the one, man.
Yeah, the yellow Durkin.
So there's all sorts of stuff going on with Kid Cable. And just like when we were reading the X-Force #1 a couple of weeks ago, I'm still only tentatively following everything that's happening.
Right. Kind of the same when it comes to Kid Cable.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's 2 #1s now, and both of them feel very much like, man, you better have been reading like the last 6 months of X-Men comics.
Right, and this issue, more than any other, I was noticing all those boxes that are like, see this, see that, see this one.
Right, it's funny because I feel like on a previous episode I talked about how I like it when they do stuff like that, like throwbacks to how they do it in older comics and like really let you know what you need to go and buy. But yeah, this issue had like 4 other series you need to go and buy.
Yeah, it was a little much.
Like, I get it's an annual, but we're good at reading comics, so we can kind of like go with the flow. Like, you just let the story kind of wash over you at
totally.
this point, and you follow the tropes.
Oh yeah, I remember that Kid Cable showed up in something else. I didn't remember what. I didn't remember where, but I knew I'd seen him recently.
Right, and I guess now there's this whole big event happening in the main books with Legion and such, and this is actually a direct tie into that. So we'll see. We'll see if we buy any more X-Men comics, or if this was just a fun diversion.
Right, the fun little annual.
Support Cyclops, he's back. Got to buy that book.
Yeah, that's cool.
Good for him. My man Scott Summers. It goes a long way. It's been not just a long time since he died, but it's been an even longer time since he was, like, a good guy. Because Cyclops was on, like, a very megalomaniacal bent for several years before his death. He killed Professor X.
Yeah, he's talked about that in this one.
Yeah. So, a pretty okay issue of comics. I'd give it a 6.
I'd also give it a 6.
Slightly above average.
Yep.
All right.
Moving on, we have The Immortal Hulk, issue 12 by Al Ewing and Joe Bennett. And this is a continuation of the Hulk in Hell storyline with Banner and Hulk being currently separated.
Right.
And Hulk's walking around with that new reporter. And it seems like Banner is stuck in the eye of the keyhole to the Green Door.
Right.
And his daddy is lecturing him about all the ways that his birth ruined his dad, his life.
Isn't it interesting?
Or didn't ruin his life, even though it should have, because it's a little weird.
It put me in a mind of Venom, honestly. It's interesting how both books at the same time are kind of going through this weird, like, angry daddy plotline thing.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. But yeah, Bruce Banner's dad, what a dick, right?
Yeah, not terrible.
What's most interesting about him in this issue is that this is the first time in a lot of issues that I've actually considered that it actually is him. Like, for a long time, I've just assumed that this was a mask that the devil was wearing, but as of this issue, it really seems like it might actually be him. He made some deal with some devilish aspect, but
right. No, it makes sense. It's like he's been in this. He's been in hell the whole time,
right?
And now that Hulk is in hell too, it's actually him.
What'd you think of young Bruce Banner destroying the building and saying "smash"?
Saying "smash." Well, I mean, he's 6, so I just thought it was kind of funny.
Smash,
smash, smash! You want me to put all this stuff away? Fine.
Yeah.
I'll kick it over. That's a kid response. Especially to something like that. That's terrible, Daddy.
I mean, it's really laying it on thick, the whole point of the story being like the Hulk is his monster. So.
Right.
Yeah.
But also, as he keeps saying,
go back to this sequence though with the Hulk.
Crying?
Yeah, it's because it definitely seems like we should be talking about Banner and Hulks. Because it seems like Hulk is the one who's now containing all of the different Hulks, like different personalities, and Banner is just Banner at the moment. So it feels like what the story's trying to tell us is that the Hulk that we saw just now, the one that we see crying for a second, is actually more like one of the Hulks that we're more familiar with from earlier comics. Before the current Immortal Hulk takes over and he's so sinister.
Right. The Immortal Hulk is another Hulk personality.
Right, like Mr. Fix-It, like any of them.
It's a new one.
He's a lot like Mr. Fix-It, the Grey Hulk who wore a suit and was like a Vegas bouncer.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like multiple Hulk personalities. I'm cool with that. We've seen various Hulks throughout the Hulk age.
It does seem like Ewing is going somewhere with it, so hopefully it's somewhere interesting.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and throughout the whole comic, you get a bunch of kind of scripture.
We get our Tom King pages.
Yeah, the Tom King pages
with our like weird epic poem over black and white flashback art.
Yeah, this one I liked a little more than the last one.
He's doing a much better job of having the narration boxes be like very tied into what is happening. Like you can read it and you're like, okay, like this is a very blatant allegory, and it's telling me something about the story that needs me to know. Tom King ones are like, we'll get to it.
No, totally.
Later this episode, stay tuned.
Exactly on board with you on that. And it all culminates in the howl through many mouths, the break with many hands.
Yeah, the first time I read it, I was like, oh, that's interesting lettering. And then I realized, like, oh, they're hearing that. That's like booming dialogue that the characters can hear.
Oh. See, I didn't get that.
Yeah.
I thought that was just more of the poem scripture about death.
No, man, that's we finally seen the beast, the monster, the thing hiding behind the green door.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah,
it is a weird, like headless turtle monster.
It's really it's an uninspired design. So all the super cool things that we've seen Joe Bennett draw in this comic.
That's true.
That's the best monster you can come up with, like a space whale.
This is the one that's supposed to be like the annihilator of worlds.
Like, if he was going for Cthulhu-esque, like, he missed for me. Like, this kind of reminds me of the Parallax Cloud in Green Lantern.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. But what's really great is Hulk at the end saying that he is death, the destroyer of worlds. And I think it's this huge shit-eating grin.
Oh, man. And I also loved that. Because this dialogue here, the Breaker of Worlds, that's a direct callback to Planet Hulk, man. That's what he was called in Sakaar. Yeah, because he literally broke that planet.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty good, and I give it a 7.
I liked this issue a lot. I think it's a 7 as well. Mm-hmm. It's a little draggy.
A little bit.
Like he's laying it on real thick. All the Bruce Banner mentality stuff in the daddy issues. Like it's real
there's no
thick.
punching.
Like I feel like this plotline isn't moving as fast as it could be.
That's true. Since they got to hell,
Feels like they've been in there a while now.
does feel like they've been in hell for a while.
Like,
still a 7 though.
Walking places.
Walking and talking.
Okay, so next up, we're going to talk about issue 3 of Tom Scioli's GoBots.
Yes.
This issue had a twist, my brother. Did you also guess the twist on the first page?
That it's been many, many years.
That it was Earth all along? Like, Earth was definitely in the middle of that, like, shot we saw of Gobotron.
Oh, yeah. No, I was just totally confused by Gobotron. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. It's gotta be Earth.
Like, this issue, this is Tom Scioli comics at their best, man. Like, 3 issues in, shit is so bonkers.
Yeah.
This is so crazy, like cuckoo bananas, crazy.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous.
It's
cover to cover.
It's this weird movie. Like it's crazy how he establishes the tone when he has everybody just making declarative statements with like you feel like a lot of time there should be exclamation points on the end of lines of dialogue, and it's just periods.
I'm definitely reading them as everybody's yelling at each other.
So the plot of this issue is that 4 astronauts have been in cryosleep on a GoBot spaceship for some unknown amount of time, and they finally come upon a world where the ship has decided to wake them up, and it's Gobotron. It's this world where the GoBots rule, and Leader 1, the GoBot main character from the first couple issues, is like the weird like King Conan style like powerhouse emperor of this wild technological world, and there's there's this giant like tripod dinosaur beast that is ravaging everything and so keeping everything from being cool. The Simon being
Simon. Is that really what Simon says?
It's just Simon.
It's just Simon?
Based on the game Simon says.
That's what the boop 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 game is called?
Yes.
Well, that game is fun.
It's fun, and it's great that in this book about crappy toys, like in a crazy sci-fi plot, that when he needed something to be, they have to remember a pattern to unlock a door. Yeah, just make it a Simon, with the sound effects. Beep, beep, boop, boop.
Yeah, it's very fun.
Somehow Psykill is still alive, and he's out like wreaking havoc on on the dirt world. No, he's up on Gobotron. He's up on Gobotron, but then eventually everybody goes down to the dirt world at the core of the weird ass Gobotron planet. And there's more GoBots down there, man. Like there's a whole bunch of like wild GoBots that it seems like these guys are like the good guy GoBots from the first issue, right? The ones except for Leader 1 who are generally pro-human.
Yeah, well, I mean, Sidekill doesn't exactly seem like a good guy.
Oh no, he was back on Gobotron. Like I'm talking about the guys who like they find like.
Those guys are the ones who totally seemed cool.
Yeah, like the red scooter. One of these is the scooter, right? Like I'm sure that's what this other guy.
One one's a scooter. I think the other one's a car.
Yeah, he's the red car. Yeah, man, this is crazy. But like you don't know who anybody is, but you follow the plot. Like you know exactly what's happening because it's just like basic tropes. You've seen everything before somewhere.
So much is happening.
So much. Like how many panels are on this page? That's a 25 panel page.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the pages are. Yeah. We're talking like 20.
The last
30
issue,
panels.
I don't think had anything but 25 panel pages.
Like there's so much story here.
Yeah.
And man. I don't know how long the series is supposed to run, but damn, like where else can we go now?
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, I give GoBots an 8.
Yeah. I'd also give it an 8.
It's a good comic, man.
Yeah.
This is what you get when you buy a Tom Scioli comic when he's drawing in this style.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
It is. It's almost a comedy.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It's almost definitely a comedy.
It's satire, basically. right?
Definitely satire.
Yeah, that's where we can land on.
And satire is like the best comedy.
When it's done right. When it's done right. All right, so Justice League.
Justice League. Escape from Hawk World by Scott Snyder and James Tynion the Fourth?
I think it's Tynion, maybe Tinian. I've heard all sorts of things.
And these are the fourth?
The fourth, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, fourth in the line of Tynion James.
Right. So, this issue of Justice League is pretty heavy. I mean, we find out some real crazy things.
Revelations are coming fast about mysteries that were introduced in the last couple issues, for sure.
Yeah. So, now that the source wall is broken, and all the evil powers that were kept out are swarming back in, we find out from the White Martian on what's the planet called?
Thanagar.
On Thanagar, he's telling Martian Manhunter the whole story of the history of how when the evil was banished, Pyra, what's her name?
Oh, the being that they're talking about. I cannot freaking remember.
Yeah, it's a long name. I believe it starts with a P. But this evil being got locked away. Perpetua got locked away.
Now, Perpetua was evil?
It sounded like Perpetua was evil.
Okay.
That's why we don't want Perpetua to return.
Right. Yes.
And Perpetua's armies were split, is what the histories say. But what actually happened was her army was split into two races of people, which was mankind, which could wield fire, but they're not very strong, and the Martian people who had all the strength of Perpetua's soldiers, but no fire. That's no good.
Now, interesting, because I read that dialogue as like mankind got like the fires of like energy and passion. Like I was taking it not as so literal.
Well, but yeah, no, it does. It definitely talks about humans and their fire in a less literal sense than I made out. It's true.
The way that you say it about like it being the Martian's weakness, though, makes your version almost as likely.
Right. No, it's both. It's definitely both. it's the fires of passion and all the building and creation that comes with the ability to have fire and be near fire.
Right.
So that's cool. And Thanagar, it's coming down because
it's a ghost world.
Yeah, it's a ghost world.
It's Xanarkand.
It's Xanarkand being controlled by a lady's helmet, and I guess maybe partly Martian's helmet as well.
Martian keep. Yeah. Yeah, we got some Green Lantern shit.
We got some Green Lanterns. They come in to berate John a little bit. But then since they're there, they might as well fight some Hawkmen. I
really liked that. I liked that when they show up, they're like, John, you're coming in. You've done it wrong. And John is like, no, listen to me. You know me. I'm John Stewart. Like, let's check this out. And Kilowog is like, okay.
Yeah.
100%.
Like, all right, we might have to make some more arrests. We might as well stick around.
You ain't Hal Jordan, so I'll trust you.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty good stuff right there.
And then Starman shows up.
Right. And then Starman shows up.
I don't know a lot about Starman, but people online have led me to believe that this is the most boring version of Starman they could have introduced.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. But he's cool. He comes in and he saves the day with his smiles and knowing stuff.
His power level, as depicted in this, is like mind-boggling.
Yeah, no. He totally seems like an ex machina.
Yeah, like he's who's going to help us wrap up this story a lot faster than the whole lead up led you to believe.
Exactly, and that's Justice League. Who are the children of Mars?
Yeah, it's fine. It's a 5.
I agree. It's 5.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. Justice League, man.
I know.
Justice League. I guess we'll still keep getting it. It's nice to keep up with the Justice League, but
after all this is done, all that epic shit, who's ever getting reference back to all of that epic shit?
I do want to take a brief sidebar here to discuss how poorly this comic has depicted the dark forces that were sealed away behind the source wall that we're supposed to be afraid of. Because if I remember correctly, the Sea God thing with the Aquaman crossover, they weren't from trapped behind the source wall beings. That was like a separate thing where they showed, right? So literally the only thing that's come through the source wall was the totality with Perpetua inside.
But what about the things that eat the world trees on planets and killed Brainiac's planet?
Oh yeah, I forgot the entire first arc of
Yeah, I know. It's because what happened to that? They ended that with an Earth tree. Yeah.
Right, that was No Justice, the 4-issue limited series with the Wisdom team and the Magic team and all that bullshit.
Seems like that got dropped right away.
Yeah, once we actually hit Justice League, it was just Perpetua and the totality came through, and that's more of like a neutral force, it seems.
Yeah.
The totality, at least. And then Starman, who's obviously a force for good.
Right, yeah. So far we have...
where's the threat, baby?
Yeah, 3. You got... Yeah.
You know, Hawkman, which we're also reading right now.
Oh, man.
Also has a bunch of stuff happening on Thanagar. Also has a bunch of like weird dimensional stuff. Also has a huge threat from like beyond time, from ancient history that was prepared for long in advance, showing up. And the stakes feel way higher in that book, man.
Yeah, well, that's because it's not just throwing a world-ending threat at you every week. It's a journey.
It's been building
and a
up
mystery and we've been going on an adventure with Carter Hall, whereas Justice League is just one unstoppable force versus us, the unbreakable wall.
Right. It's essentially been a Michael Bay movie the whole time. And not a good one. I'd say as a fan of some Michael Bay movies. It's just like slam, bang, great artists, cool action, big threat, big threat, big threat.
Yeah, slam, bang.
Yeah. All right.
Sidebar over.
Sidebar over. We're going to move on now to issue 2 of the Superior Spider-Man, written by Christos Gage and penciled by Mike Hawthorne. And this comic, we're 2 issues in. It's on the chopping block for me. I don't know about you, but nothing interesting is happening in this book. I am not terribly interested by this issue-long fight between Otto and Terrax. Terrax is cool.
Terrax is cool.
But he's like so dangerous that it's not a fight, and then at the end it's like actually a Deus Ex Machina victory.
Yeah.
Because I guess Otto can just make anything Doom could make. Which, I get it. I get it that super scientists can be super scientists and build whatever, but man, like Otto, if you could just make a device that could siphon the power cosmic this whole time, like you've been really working small potatoes.
Well, did he say that he did say he built it, didn't he?
I don't think he stole it from Doom. I think he stole the plans. But, so there you go.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I am interested in the cosmic powered Superior Spider-Man. Maybe.
Well, we'll see. But how interesting would this issue have been?
Lay it on me.
If it was done in a completely Golden Age style.
Like, a modern story, like everything the same, but just drawn by somebody who is like...
Well, drawn and lettered like an old one, with your whams and your booms. And here comes the Superior Spider-Man.
I guess that if this was an old school comic, and let's even say that it was let's say it was starring Ben Grimm, The Thing, and it was the same plot. It was essentially our hero, with all of his gumption, has to stand up to a threat that he can't defeat himself by any chance, and just has to keep on getting up. And I don't know. I don't think that's an interesting storyline for Otto Octavius the way it is with Ben Grimm. Like, Ben Grimm, I'd like to see him get knocked down and get back up. But for Otto Octavius, that's... I mean, this may as well just be a Spider-Man comic. Like, what's superior Spider-Man about this? Peter Parker's a smart guy. He could have stolen tech from Dr. Doom in order to make a device if he needed to. And that character, it makes sense to have, like, doing the old, I get knocked down and get back up again.
Right.
But Otto Octavius, I want him to win because of something devious. I want him to have made plans within plans. Like, he kind of did. Like, they pull it off on the ending, but the fact that his plans within plans required him to almost get killed like 8 times.
Oh, like 8 times. He was just crawling.
Yeah, like, I feel like he needed to come up with a plan where he's not in the direct line of fire like that. I mean, you know,
that doesn't make more sense with his character personality.
Like, these other characters they've got him matched up with, like his Undead Freak Army. Like, it was like a weird comedy beat in a story that didn't need a comedy beat there.
That's definitely true.
Like,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, exactly. It drained all of, like, a lot of the danger out of the whole situation for me. That we have, what's his name? The living zombie. I can't remember. I think his name's Garth something. But
well, as cool as the bad guy was, he never at any point seemed like, you know, he was in any great hurry.
Right.
To get to his destroying of whatnot.
Also, has Terrax ever looked more like Darkseid than he did in this comic?
At first I thought, is that supposed to be Darkseid?
Darkseid with like a spear halberd thing. That was the one kind of cool moment where he's like, yeah, my spear, I can make it do whatever. Don't try to use my weapon against me. Terrax is cool. But, you know, he should be fighting the Silver Surfer.
That's true.
So, yeah, I mean, Spidey's got cosmic powers in this now, so we'll see. But
so we will see. I suppose I could read one more.
But, yeah, for this issue, that's a 4.
It's a 4?
It's on the chopping block.
Okay. I'd give it a 5.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Average comics.
Yeah. That's a fun way to fight a guy. But you're right, it's not really an Otto thing. I want to see what he's about.
That's
true.
The thing. Yeah. They did a better job in the initial Superior Spider-Man run when he took over Peter's body and was pretending to be Peter Parker. There, that story makes sense.
Yeah. I also wish they had stuck with the blue costume.
The Superior Octopus?
Yeah, the Superior Octopus costume. I'd much rather be reading a Superior Octopus than a Superior Spider-Man, if I'm being totally honest.
Yeah, I'm 100% there with you. I don't understand why they released one issue or whatever of Superior Octopus, whatever they did, and then he's immediately back as another Spider-Man. We don't need another freaking Spider-Man. Superior Octopus was cool.
Superior Octopus was very cool.
Does Otto have Peter's powers? Does he have spider powers in his new clone body?
I don't know. I can't tell.
For some reason,
he definitely comes swinging in on a web. He has web shooters.
He's got the tech, but I want to know how much of it is the suit, and if whether or not he got it, because I believe it was like a modified Peter Parker clone that is his current body.
Well, then that would make sense. They'd have Parker strength and Parker stickiness to walls, and maybe even a spider sense. Well, you'd think so, but it doesn't seem like he has a spider sense.
It doesn't seem like he has a spider sense. That's a good point. Now, writers very often just forget that spider sense is a thing nowadays.
Yeah, because it's weird.
Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know. I need like a little dialogue balloon at the beginning or something that explains to me if he has spider powers or if it's all the suit.
Yeah, you just can't tell.
Yeah, it doesn't say in the... he just says, after giving up Spider-Man's body to save the woman he loves and taking a new body in the alias L.A. Tolliver, Otto is beginning a new life. Very unspecific.
Very unspecific. We know that he created this body, and he created it to not give up. So let's move on. So we have Guardians of the Galaxy. This is issue 1 by Donny Cates and Geoff Shaw.
Yes. Shaw, he was the artist on, I believe he was the artist on Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Right, yes. Yeah. I believe you are correct about that, which makes sense because this is very similar.
More of that, yeah. Man, that first page was awesome.
First page is awesome.
Love a good Galactus, man.
Yeah. What's he doing? You're not exactly sure?
Oh, come on.
Be creating something?
Nah, he's sucking the life out of a world.
Oh, wow. That's Yeah, that's awesome. That's cool to see.
So, yes.
Yeah. So Thanos, he dead.
He did.
He's missing a head as well. That rhymes. And lots of people have been they've been invited to bear witness to his dead body.
And the Last Will and Testament.
Which turns out to be kind of a Thanos trap, as he reveals that somebody is going to become Thanos.
Yeah, somebody's going to magically become Thanos if he dies.
He had his personality imprinted onto something, and maybe someone or maybe something that's going to make him attached to someone.
Right.
But somebody's going to be Thanos. And we don't know who. But people who invited were like Beta Ray Bill and Silver Surfer, a bunch of other
Cyclops'
dudes.
dad, Corsair.
Dad. Just, people from the universe, not necessarily from Earth. It seems like specifically not from Earth.
Because they think that it's more likely that Thanos will try to reincarnate in an Earth superhero.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. But, so they say you gotta go out, you gotta kill all the most likely targets of people who are gonna become Thanos.
So, right off the bat there, it sure sounds like Star Fox is Thanos now. if he's got some plan that's gonna send these people out to go kill all the heroes.
Oh, yeah.
Kill all the most powerful heroes. I'm Star Fox.
Must. Yeah, but that's what happens. And then Thanos' lackeys, they show up. Oh, and Peter Quill's running around the galaxy with Groot, and they're alone now.
I gotta say, I don't think I've ever really read a Guardians of the Galaxy comic, with at least not one that had like the movie Guardians in it.
Yeah.
I don't know if Groot can actually talk, or if we're just hearing that Quill can understand him. Or
they do not make it clear at all.
Maybe Groot has just always been able to talk in the comics, and I Am Groot was a movie thing?
That could definitely be possible.
It could be anything. Somebody tell me in the comments.
The first thing Groot says is, fuck you.
Yeah, didn't love that.
And then Quill replies with, I am Groot to you too, pal. Or yourself, pal. I am Groot yourself. So I think that's an indicator that he is just saying, I am Groot.
I like it. I like it.
I mean, that's all we got to go off of, so I'm sticking with that belief. But, they were invited, but Groot decided it sounded boring, so he didn't tell Quill that they were invited, so they missed the party.
Right.
But, like I said, Thanos' lackeys showed up to get his body.
Yes.
And they pretty much do it right away by opening a tear in space.
And they steal Nowhere and use Nowhere at the head of the Celestial to...
Right, they stole Nowhere and transported it over to the Vigil and Last Will and Testament of Thanos. And... yeah, they took his body. They did it pretty handily, and lots of heroes and whatnot. They fell into this tear that they created in space. Seems like Silver Surfer.
Damn.
Fell down.
I wish Silver Surfer was on the team.
Right. Every time I see Silver Surfer, he's there and then he's gone.
Right. Come on, Noram, get in the game. People love you.
Yeah. But Quill and Groot, they show up, and they manage to rescue a few people.
A few pretty cool people.
They got Cosmic Ghost Rider and Beta Ray Bill and
Philavelle. And Moondragon, the daughter of Drax.
All right. Oh, okay.
Drax's family didn't actually die. He just thought she died.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing what they're all about.
Yeah. This is actually a pretty dope roster, and all indications are that I doubt we'll have to wait too long for Rocket to show up.
Ah, that's good.
Like, I mean, don't you think so? They wouldn't keep bringing him up and being like, "We don't talk about Rocket."
Well, maybe we'll get a flashback issue and something.
Rocket better not be dead, man. Like, it better be.
I'm sure they'd say if he was dead. He's off doing something.
He's busy, yeah. And, we did have our little reference to the Avengers movie with them saying, the heroes are too strong, and it's like the turnaround with the grin, but it's Hela.
Hela's here.
Yeah.
And Hela is crazy.
She grinning, man. Yeah. So, Guardians of the Galaxy, number 1.
I'd give it a 6.
Yeah, I think 6 is right. Slightly above average. Pretty entertaining beginning. I think it's worth getting the next issue for sure.
Yeah, worth getting the next issue.
I do enjoy quite a bit that Venom is one of the biggest pictures in their roster of potential Thanos reincarnation targets.
I know. Well, did they say they wanted people who were a little bit morally flexible?
Did they? Oh no. Pause. And we're back. We heroically fought off the car thieves that were attempting to break into our transportation. And not even out of breath.
No.
Feeling good. So where were we? So, I mean, when you look at the roster of characters here, I mean, Thanos, who's he going to get into? Is it going to be Luke Cage? Is it going to be Iron Man? Mephisto? Like, literally the devil? Odin, father of Thor? The Juggernaut? Or will he choose a human, like Nick Fury? Or, I guess, Kamala Khan, the young girl Miss Marvel? That'd be hilarious, actually, if Thanos reincarnated.
That would be pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Or join the species in case of Venom.
And I don't think that's Cosmic Ghost Rider. I think that's supposed to be Ghost Rider.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, even though he doesn't look like that in his own book right now. And even though they seem to think at first that Gamera is the lowest priority target, they're like, no, we gotta kill Gamera. Is she evil now?
I guess.
I didn't read that event.
Yeah.
Alright, we ranked it, right? Yeah, 6s.
Oh, we did.
Okay. Last review for the night, people. We have issue 63, Batman by Tom King. This one is penciled by Mikel Janin. So, this is the third issue of the Nightmares arc. Because, yes, that's right, the first issue was the young Master Bruce kid killing people in Arkham Asylum, or in Blackgate Prison, I should say.
Yeah.
Which this book had reminded me in its pages was part of this arc.
Right.
So is that a dream that Bruce was having?
Yeah. That's what this means. Because also the pig.
The pig, right.
Also
the dream.
Part.
So we have an alternate history story here that depicts Catwoman showing up at their wedding, and they do get married, and they continue to be superheroes while being happily married. And now that the game is up and we know everything's a dream, King just has John Constantine just hanging out talking to Batman, and Batman talking to him like he knows it's a dream, but he's just chill just to exist in the dream.
Yep.
There's a couple of Tom King pages here with, I guess it's the Batman and Catwoman talking to each other motif brought back.
Right, and they're always calling each other Bat and Cat,
yeah.
which is really annoying. I didn't read that page in particular.
I didn't read either of those pages, man. Like, I've 100% skipped all that because you know what I've learned? You can skip all that and it will not actually... Yeah. In fact, it will overall improve the quality of the book you're reading. Imagine if we had just gotten these 2 pages, like, this, and then, boom, no captions, them on the beach. Maybe 1 or 2 things. Boom, them in costume on the rooftop. Maybe 1 or 2 captions.
I agree.
Logorrhea. This is vomit, diarrhea of the mouth.
Yeah. With the pen.
So many pages of, nothing happening until Catwoman is shot. I mean, they have little squabbles.
Yeah, so Constantine's like, she's gonna die, right?
You know she's gonna die. Because Constantine is actually probably whoever is manipulating Batman. I think. I mean, he says he's not John. Maybe it's John.
Right. He does say he's not John. And Batman, you're in a machine, a dream machine.
Right, and you're gonna go mad.
All right, they're driving you mad.
What I really hope. The only good turnout for this is that if John Constantine is, a backdoor program that Batman inserted into his brain in the case of being tortured and submitted to mind-controlling scarecrow gas, where he actually, hypnotized himself into having this little aspect of his personality disguised as John Constantine show up and tell him, you're dreaming, you gotta get out of here. This is Dream World. I know it can tell you exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could happen.
I think we got, 3 or 4 more Nightmares to come in Batman.
And we're already just told you're in a machine. It's a dream.
Oh man, dude, Batman.
Of course you're in a dream.
The question is, why isn't Batman on the chopping block for us?
No.
I mean, 63 issues in, there's a little bit of just stick with itness happening for me personally.
Yeah, no, that's what it is. It's all stick with itness because it is Batman.
But it does feel like maybe we should switch to Detective Comics. I'm pretty sure it's being written by Peter Tomasi right now, and I don't know if you remember reading like any of them Supermans that Tomasi was on before Bendis, but he's a good one. He's a good one, and maybe we should be supporting his book and not this garbage anymore. Because this has been a lot of bad issues in a row.
No, I agree. Very much that it's not compelling. The entire thing that's been going on with the Catwoman marriage and the dream sequences and all of it. It's just, it's a snore.
It is. It's crazy that this is the main Batman book right now. Like, it's way crazier that this is Batman than anything that's happening over in Superman. Like, there's a lot of bullshit happening in Bendis Superman, but the fact that this is the Batman book and not, like, Tom King doing a Vision-style 12-issue limited series or some crap where he can really explore the depths of Batman's, like, weird psychosis. Yeah, it's rough. I would give this a 1.
A 1?
No good action. It gets a 1 point for being drawn pretty well. Like, what it sets out to depict looks good. It's just they didn't choose to draw anything compelling.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I'll give it a 1.
So I think maybe we axe Batman. I think we have to make a statement. I mean, I'm not quite ready to axe Bendis Superman because I got to be honest, it's a lot more fun to talk about even when it's bad.
Yeah.
Batman, man, that's rough.
Cat.
All right, that was the poll for the week.
Yes, it was.
Well, thanks for talking to me about it, Sam.
No problem.
And thanks to all the listeners for checking us out. Leave us a note in the comments. Drop us a like. It really helps to know that somebody is watching or at least listening to and enjoying these little reviews as much as I like to make them.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll see you next week.
That was Sam and Max. Hit the books.